You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that.
Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast, Heal and Reveal, or Reveal and Heal.
Reveal and heal.
I should read the card before I do the intro, eh?
Oh, we should. Oh, we should know the name of your own podcast.
Okay, so today I really want to touch on the topic of self-care because this is something I have incorporated into my daily routine over the last, I'd say 12 years or so. So I want to first just talk about like my upbringing. So growing up, like I seen my parents practice self-care regularly. Like my mom was very much into like the spa and getting her hair and stuff like that done, like the appearance of self-care, whereas my dad was very into, again, dyeing his hair, whitening his teeth.
So still appearance.
Yeah.
So outside, not inwards.
Yes. My parents would also do meal prep for like the work week, or they would press out their clothes for all the 5 work days. Like they used to do that. So I just kind of seen it a lot growing up. So I began my self-care journey after I had Natalia. So my oldest daughter, Natalia, she's almost 13. And I really struggled with postpartum depression after I had her. I think I had like a little bit of a life crisis of some sort because I was used to always having money, before, like, you know what I mean, previously. And I could go get my hair, get my nails done, whatever I wanted to do because I always had a constant flow of money. But then after I had Natalia, I didn't have any money. So I struggled with not being able to take care of myself, having to take care of a baby, and
your way of living changed drastically.
It did in a short amount of time. Because when I think back now, I still realize like I had no sense of time when I was 24.
Do any of us?
Yeah, okay. I'm not.
I mean, do really any of us? I mean, it really hits when you have kids because you realize that your time is no longer your time because being a parent, like many of you may know, is very demanding and it's time consuming in all areas of your life.
What I started to implement into myself was I taught myself how to do things that I like to get done and pay for the service. So I started watching YouTube videos on like how to do my hair texture, and I really dived in deep with the hair culture, but this is a whole nother topic. I do have a separate YouTube channel where I do anything maintenance related on that channel. I figured if I could pay someone to do these things, one, I could teach myself how to do them, but two, all these people would have learned how to do these things too, right? So I wasn't reinventing the wheel. I just had to put in the time and the effort to teach myself how to do these things. Another thing I would do too is when I would go to like let's say I go to the salon, I would ask questions like, what are you using? What type of hair is like, I would ask as many questions as I could. And then I would be able to, you know what I mean?
Sense. You get to know the products, you get to know like what techniques they're using and like how the product, just do what I do, guys, just shake it off. And what does self-care look like to you? Like how do you incorporate it now into your life?
Well, I think over the past 4 years, I was really able to incorporate it into my life because I had more money, let's say, because I wasn't paying for daycare.
That's more disposable income.
Exactly. But I really struggled with it in the beginning because I felt like I was being selfish. I felt like, I can't like do these things or spend this money because this is money that should go back into like putting my kids in activities.
Mom guilt is real.
Exactly. But then what I started to do was I have a virtual Pinterest board, and I do a vision board on there, and I just started to add things that made me feel happy. So a lot of the things I started to add over the last 4 or 5 years was a lot of self-care pictures and women practicing self-care, flowers, anything that made me happy, any type of trips I may want to go on.
I have one of those.
Yeah, just anything that put me in that warm, fuzzy feeling.
I have a widget on my phone that like, so it scrolls through the images and the different things so that like when I click on my phone, I can like see all of those things on my vision board. I have one for fitness and one for vision.
And when I started working from home, I would just be in that rut. So I was like,
you're comfy, you get to be cozy. Like,
I know.
Let me
wear a robe and a bonnet, not even sweatpants. Another thing that really helped me to mentally prepare myself and to get into that self-care mode 2 was practicing what my parents had practiced. And what I seen growing up was getting yourself ready the night before, or staying ready so I don't have to get ready. So I always make sure like my hair is presentable, even if I just put a scarf on, and that way in the morning if I have to jump up and go do whatever, my hair's done. Prepping my skin, doing all my treatments and stuff like that. Knowing on like a Sunday or Thursday, I'm gonna like tint my brows, do a facial.
That's like your day.
Dermaplane my skin, like, and I'm gonna get everything done, because there have been times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just do that on Sunday, or pick a day or miss a week or whatever. And then I look at my skin and I'm like, my skin's breaking out. I don't feel confident. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I never really had any kind of, I guess, illustration of what self-care looked like growing up, because my mom didn't really do a whole lot. Like for her, it was like she would have a bubble bath, but I mean, make your lunch the night before just so you don't have to do it in the morning to save time. But like other than that, my mom didn't get her nails done. She didn't like do anything regularly to do self-care. So it was more like, well, what do I want for self-care? And then teaching myself what that self-care looked like, because a lot of the stuff I would do now, my mom doesn't do. So
yeah, but I think self-care for everyone is a little bit different. Go back into my cup is something different. Like you'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym. Right. That's your way of practicing self-care.
You're not getting up at 3 a.m. to go to the gym. But the thing is, I never thought I would be that person, but being a part of the 5 a.m. club to then switching to the 3 a.m. club is not that big of a stretch. And honestly, I love going to the gym at 3 a.m. and not having, like, I have my solid crew of 3 other people that are at that gym with me at 3 in the morning. And it is beautiful.
So I just think there's a misconception of self-care because of social media and stuff like that. So a lot of us see people, this is my weekly routine, and they'll go and they'll pay for the blowouts and they'll get all these things done, right? Whereas me, or 10 years ago, if social media was as big now or then as it is now, I probably would have really struggled with myself, because
I think we all would.
Me not having any money and then seeing all these people that are my age, like, oh my God, like.
But you have to think about it. Even the people now on here don't always have money. It's called keeping up with the Joneses, and it's all for the gram. It's not all real.
Starting your self-care journey can be something super simple, like
a bubble bath.
Really, a bubble bath, doing a facial, getting your hair done, meditating. And that's another thing I started to do too, was I really dived deep into like self-care books after postpartum. And I kind of started with those books. And then in those books, I learned like, okay, like you need to pour into like your appearance.
Other tools and techniques.
Yeah, like it's not just, and then to meditating and stuff like that. And then that's just how I started to evolve my self-care, really.
Fair enough. I mean, my self-care, like you said, is different than your self-care. Like, I don't necessarily get my nails done constantly anymore or anything like that. I used to, but then I just spent money elsewhere. But it's definitely, when the girls are with their dad, it's always like a bubble bath. And definitely, I take the calendar and I meal prep essentially what I'm going to do for dinners for the whole month, so that I know what I'm grocery shopping for, how I'm spending the money. Meal prepping my own lunches or like my breakfasts and things like that beforehand, and meditation and making time for journaling and the gym are like, those things are more of like the inner work aspect rather than the outward aspect. It's
funny because I never used to think of the gym as a way of self-care.
Really?
No, I never did. Like, even my husband he'll go to the gym twice a day, but I'd always be like, why are you going to the gym? Like, I would always kind of like beat him up, because I'd be like, oh, well, there's things that need to be done around the house. Laundry needs to be done. Like, grocery shopping needs to be done. Why are you going to the gym? But then I learned that's how he pours back into himself, right? Like, he has a very stressful job. So yes, he will take the 2 hours out of his day to go to the gym. And then when I started going to the gym, it would have been like January. So it's been almost like 9 months now. And I cannot not go to the gym.
Oh, yeah, you're becoming addicted to that feeling now. But it's so important. Like, the gym, everyone's like, oh, it's just like a vain thing. You just want to look good. But it's not even about, you look good. That's one of the benefits. But when you're there, you're focused so intently inward on like the reps, how you're doing it, what you're doing, that like you're blowing off that energy and that steam that builds up, and you really have to focus on what you're doing so you're not injuring yourself and whatever. But then it makes you feel more confident within yourself, inwards and outwards, because then you're like, oh, I'm pushing more reps, I'm pushing higher weight, like I'm stronger, like I'm more confident in myself. And it just gives you that anger release in a sense. Have you ever gone to the gym and sometimes they have like a bag or something there and you can just like hit it and you can just go at it.
Oh, the punching bag?
Yeah, you just go at it and you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Today I just wanted to like really touch on just self-care and just how important it is for moms, new moms,
everybody, really, not even moms. Like,
well,
yes,
yeah,
it's important for moms, but I think everybody needs self-care, and even guys, because I feel like guys suck at making time for self-care.
Yeah, but I think men pour into their self-care cup a little bit differently, because this is just my experience, but I know, and we talked about this in like one of our other podcasts, I think it was the one on marriage, but Wes has no problem like being like, okay, the house is chaotic, I'm gonna step away and go to the gym or go to a movie or go play golf or go do something, so that way I'm not feeling stressed out.
But see, that's the thing though, whereas my ex, he wouldn't. And I would encourage him to be like, go do something with a buddy, or go, I don't know, go do whatever you need to do. Go take the dog for a long trail walk or whatever you feel like you need to do. And he would be like, no, there's too much to do around here, I can't take that time. Or no, you need me here, da 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 da. It's like, okay, well, you can take those couple hours, go do what you need. And he wouldn't. And I feel like that internally affected him, because he never took the time to pour into himself, because it was all about the family or everybody else, and rather than himself.
Yeah, but this is the thing though, is if you're gonna be here and if you're worried about being away from the family, that's fine. But you can't throw it in everyone's face and be like, oh, I don't have any time to do whatever I want to do because because I'm always here with you guys. And it's like, yeah, but I give you opportunities to go out and take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you're going to take care of yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. There is always hindsight in everything. But in that sense though, like, I feel like that's sometimes how guys feel, is like,
I wonder if we have any male subscribers, let us know down in the comments below.
What are your self-care? What does self-care look like to you? Like, what do you do? Do you take that time, or do you feel guilty about it later?
That would be interesting.
Right?
Yeah,
interesting to know.
Because I've never heard of a man doing something for themselves, because I feel like women always feel like that, right?
Yeah. No.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting to me too, to kind of feel that, because I was like, well, I don't feel bad for taking time for myself. Like I used to, but then, you know, once I realized how important it was for me, because like you, I had postpartum with my second child, Parker, and it took a little bit to get out of that rut. Definitely. It's not easy, but it switches, I guess, that importance and what self-care is and why it's needed.
Yes.
For the family, because you can't give from an empty cup. So if you're not pouring into yourself, you have nothing to pour into anybody else.
Exactly.
Whether that's your relationship
150%.
or your kids, like, you can't. You're just like, I'm miserable. You were telling me that you're in your soft girl era right now.
Yes, I do feel like I'm in my soft girl era.
I'm like, and it was funny when you said that, because I was like, I'm definitely in my villain girl era. Definitely. And I was like, okay.
I don't know, but I just feel like I'm able to finally be in my soft girl era, because I've had such a shell up for so many years, and I've always been not an asshole. I've just been through so many life experiences, right? So I have a hard time trusting without, you know what I mean? Like, kind of being a little bit judgmental, maybe a little bit. Like, I'm not a judgmental person at all, but there are times, not with people I don't know, but with people I do know, I tend to be a little bit judgy. I don't know if it's because like they burned me in the past. What helped me be able to really dive into my soft girl was my virtual vision board. Like I would just kind of go in every night. Like I'd put quotes on there, pictures of money, things that again would make me feel good. People with fit body. It would be like aesthetic pictures, let's call it. Find now, because my life isn't so hectic as it was up until 4 years ago, I am able to be in my soft girl era, I'd say. Which again, took me a long time to get here.
I ain't never been there. So I'm in my villain era. I'm definitely making hard boundaries with relationships that are never thought I would really have to do them, or and just really like not necessarily feel an error in a bad way, more so in a way of like I am understanding boundaries more, and I'm understanding what I want and I don't want in my life, what I'm willing to put up with, and I'm no longer going to make excuses or allow things just simply because of who you are in my life. And I think that is very hard to do in the sense of like if they're close to you and whatnot, but I mean, for my own self-care and my own like mental stability, I think it's important. And right now with myself, I feel like I have a lot going on, and in doing that, I need to make sure that I have strong boundaries so I can stay focused in what I want to achieve and maintaining my own sort of, I guess, emotional and mental health.
Well, that's good. I like getting there.
I know, right? Well, we'll see. We'll see. This year is going to be a wild year.
The year's almost over. You mean next year?
Well, okay. My years never run from like January to January. My years, I feel like,
run from like, your vision board, right? That's yeah.
And I always do my vision board in the spring because I feel that, you know, springtime is new things blossoming, new things growing, you know, so for me, my year is almost like an April-May sort of thing. Because like, for me, it's like, yeah, new things are growing, you're planting like the new seeds and things, so then you can harvest it come the fall, and then the winter you're more replenishing and recouping, and then in the spring, you plant again.
Maybe I'll start doing my vision board in the spring. Maybe we'll do it together this year.
Sounds good.
Yeah, have a vision board party.
Right. I mean, some people do them like January to December is a full calendar year, and I get that. But for me, it just feels more natural and more right to move with the flow of the seasons for me.
I like that idea.
And you always have like more energy, and you're like all amped up more come the spring and the summer because it's shining. You've got all this vibrant energy. You feel like you put in the work. Like you just have that
It's so funny that you say that, because when we were in Saskatoon, Wes brought this up the other day. He's like, it's almost like you go into hibernation, right? And I don't
100%.
I don't, because it gets so cold there from like October until the second leg of the winter, which is in like April, right?
You have summer and winter.
Yeah, exactly. And then in April, the end of April-ish, that's when like all the snow starts to melt. It's like, oh, I can go outside again. I used to always do my vision board and like have all these goals, and I would do it in December. But then I'm kind of like locked inside from December, really, let's say November, till April. So I wouldn't really like...
You're less motivated.
I would have zero motivation. I would go to the gym because it was across the street from our house. And that's it. It was too cold. I don't like cold. I think that sums up our video today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in our next video.
Pour into your cup, y'all.
Pour into your cup! Bye.
You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. 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 You could bet that, never gotta sweat that.